Hola, hola, bienvenidos otra vez a la clase de español. Hi everybody, welcome once more to Spanish class. Antes de continuar con esta presentación, asegúrate que hayas terminado todas tus tareas y que entiendes estos conceptos. And I hope you watched the video from last week the way I instructed, that you make sure that you watch the videos in order, because that's when I explain what all that means, and I'm not going to do it again this time. Especially because we really need to get comfortable with the Spanish sounds and the Spanish language, the rhythm of the language, and really starting to connect the Spanish that you might see on the screen to what they actually mean, right? Connecting what we hear to what we understand. So, moving on. So last week, you should have completed this before moving on to this video. And we tackled el alfabeto, the alphabet, y los sonidos de español, and the sounds of Spanish. There was a written worksheet on Google Classroom where you had to translate all the vocabulary words, as well as your verbal assignment, which was to say the alphabet out loud and read all the vocabulary terms out loud. And bravo to everybody who signed in and did that. I know it can be incredibly intimidating the first time, especially when you're doing it online and in a new language that you don't know. But everybody really stepped up. They were super brave and they went ahead and they tried it and did their best. And it was wonderful, wonderful to listen to. So thank you, gracias a todos. Thank you to everybody who presented. And of course, guys, even if it's not your homework for the week, you need to make sure that you keep reviewing your saludos, your greetings, your cómo estás, how are you, and your despedidas, your farewells. We will be using those extensively in the Blackboard sessions during the online sessions. So make sure you keep practicing them on a daily basis would be ideal. So 10, 15 minutes, go through it again. Eventually, it'll be memorized and it'll be a piece of cake. All right, so moving on this week, over the next few weeks, we're going to be filling this out. Información personal, your personal information. So in English, and remember guys, you should be jotting this down. You should always be watching these videos with a notebook out so you can write down your notes, or you can have an extra tab open on your computer where you can type this up. But you definitely need to know this, all the English sentences that we're going to be working towards saying en español. So my name is... my name is Señorita Enriquez. I am blank years old. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and leave that one as a blank for now. My birthday is June 25th, 1984. So really, I just gave you my age. There it is. My favorite color is blue. My favorite, so many things. My favorite book is Pride and Prejudice. My favorite season is autumn. My favorite article of clothing is shoes, or our shoes. So all those sorts of things is what we are going to be looking at in Espanol. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. Of course, everybody's family is drastically different, and we're going to be looking at this year. Brothers and sisters, parents, in-laws, half-siblings, extended family, adopted families, all that fun stuff. And of course, your role as a student in a school. So what school you go to, what courses you take, etc., etc. So this is an English outline of the content and vocabulary and grammar that we will be studying over the next few weeks. All right, so first one, guys, make sure that you know how to ask these questions as well as answer them. So most of the time, I will be asking you these questions, but you also need to know how to ask them yourself. So, ¿cómo te llamas? What are you called? Is the literal translation. Of course, in English, it's what is your name, right? So, ¿cómo te llamas? In order to answer it, you would say me llamo and your name. So for me, it would be me llamo Señorita Enriquez. So I am called Miss Enriquez. Careful, a lot of students like to say me for me because it looks like the English word for me. But that actually means something different in Espanol. So make sure you say me llamo. Of course, like I explained, where did my mouse go? There we go. Last week, the double L makes a Y sound, and you want to watch those vowels. So not me llamo, llamo, me llamo, which is I am called. Or another way to ask that, ¿cuál es tu nombre? What is your name? Literally, what is your name? ¿Cuál es? I don't know why students like to cut off that S for some reason, but make sure you say it. ¿Cuál es tu nombre? ¿Cuál es tu nombre? What is your name? You would answer with mi nombre es. Mi nombre es. So for me, mi nombre es Señorita Enriquez. So make sure you know how to ask both ways. What is your name, or what are you called? And you know how to answer both ways. One more time. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo. ¿Cuál es tu nombre? Mi nombre es. So my name is. Guys, this is all informal. So this slide is informal. In English, there's no real, well, there is, but it's quite subtle. The difference between informal and formal discussion. In Spanish, it's a very big deal. You're going to see this a lot. So it's very important that you know the difference. An informal conversation will take place between two friends. So somebody who's always roughly around your age. So friends, classmates, siblings, things like that. Formal is a little more respectful. So it's for teachers, for anyone who might be older than you, parents. If you get a job, or if you have a job, it would definitely be for your boss, things like that. So this particular side is informal. This part, ¿cómo se llama?, is, let's say you're in class, you're waiting for class to start, so you're chatting with a friend, and a new student walked in, and you ask your friend, what is he called, or what is she called, or what are they called? Then you would say, ¿cómo se llama? Your friend would respond, se llama. And that's, they are called, and they would put their name there, okay? The second one is ¿cuál es su nombre? So this is the formal way to ask somebody what their name is. So if you sign into a session with me and it's been a week since you've seen me, you totally blanked out and you don't know what my name is, that's okay. You can simply say ¿cuál es su nombre? Not ¿cuál es tu nombre? ¿Cuál es tu nombre is informal. So you would do that if you're asking someone around your age what their name is. But if you're asking me, your teacher, what my name is, you would say ¿cuál es su nombre? Formal. If you ask somebody else, they would say su nombre es. If you're asking a classmate what my name is, they would say su nombre es. But if I answer directly, I would say mi nombre es. My name is. And again, on this slide, that is formal. If you're talking to a teacher, to a boss, to someone older than you. The second question we're looking at this week is ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Definitely, hands down, the question I'm going to ask you the most this year. So you really, really want to get this one and the different ways to respond locked in your brain. So ¿cómo estás? How are you? You start with estoy. And we're going to keep it simple for now. You can say, estoy bien, gracias. I am good, thank you. Yes, we're going to say thank you at the end of every sentence. And I do expect you to answer in a full sentence. Why? Sometimes it sounds a little silly when you're like, well, I'm bad, thank you. Yes, normally we wouldn't do that in regular conversation, but until we get our fluency up there, we need to practice as much as we can all the sounds of Spanish. So for now, we're always going to say gracias. Once we start having those independent conversation and we start to build on our interactive skills, then of course we will not be saying that. We'll say it when it's appropriate, but for now, say it every single time. Estoy mal, gracias would be I am bad, thank you. Estoy más o menos, gracias. I'm okay. So I'm more or less. I'm kind of good, I'm kind of bad, I'm kind of in the middle, I'm okay. Estoy muy bien, gracias. I'm very good, thank you. Estoy muy mal, gracias. I'm very bad. Thank you. And of course, at the end, we're going to add y tú and you if it's informal, y usted and you if it's formal. Right? So I will always ask you ¿cómo estás? You answer and then you ask me the same. So an example of a basic conversation between two people, one being a student and one being a teacher. The teacher starts with a greeting. Remember, we always start with a greeting. Hola. The student, buenos días, responds with a greeting. Teacher, ¿cómo estás? How are you? Student, estoy bien, gracias. Y usted, I'm good, thank you. And you? Teacher, estoy muy bien, gracias. I'm very good, thank you. ¿Cuál es tu nombre? What is your name? Student, mi nombre es Carlos. ¿Y usted? Mi nombre es Señorita Enriquez. So my name is Carlos, and you? My name is Miss Enriquez. And of course, we always finish with our farewell. Hasta luego. Adios. So until later and goodbye. So notice how we're starting to piece everything together. So one more time for pronunciation. So you have all the sounds for when you practice. Hola, buenos días. ¿Cómo estás? Estoy muy bien, gracias. ¿Y usted? Estoy muy bien, gracias. ¿Cuál es tu nombre? Mi nombre es Carlos. ¿Y usted? Mi nombre es Señorita Enríquez. Hasta luego. Adiós. All right, so that is one example. Here, you might want to pause the video and write all these down. These are freebies that I'm giving you for different ways to say how you're feeling. So, estoy cansada or cansado if you're tired. Remember, kind of touch base on this last week. If it ends in an O, it's masculine. So, if you're a boy, you want to say estoy cansado. If it ends in an A, it is feminine. So if you're a girl, you want to say cansada. And both of them mean tired. Just this one's for guys, this one's for girls. Same thing here. Estoy frustrado if you're a boy. Estoy frustrada if you're a girl, and they both mean frustrated. So maybe you're really frustrated with an assignment. You want to let me know that so I can help you and provide the appropriate support for you, right? So you don't always have to say you're good or you're bad. You can just be honest. Say, I'm frustrated with this assignment, or I'm just having a bad day. Just be honest and go ahead and use your new vocab. Estoy feliz. I'm happy. Notice it doesn't matter if it's an O or an A. You just leave it. It's always like that. Feliz. Estoy enojado or estoy enojada is angry. Estoy contento or estoy contenta is content, or another way to say happy. Estoy triste. I'm sad. Make sure you're saying the E at the end. Triste. Estoy nervioso. Estoy nerviosa is nervous. Estoy enfermo. Estoy enferma is sick. So if you're sick that day, you're not feeling so well, go ahead and let me know. Estoy enfermo, estoy enferma. So one more time for pronunciation. Estoy cansado. Estoy cansada. Estoy frustrado. Estoy frustrada. Estoy feliz. Estoy enojado. Estoy enojada. Estoy contento. Estoy contenta. Estoy triste. Estoy nervioso. Estoy nerviosa. Estoy enfermo. Estoy enferma. So lots and lots to choose from. Your next question is ¿Cuántos años tienes? How old are you? ¿Cuántos años tienes? Literally, how many years do you have? But before we really tackle the question, before you can say how old you are, you first must learn to say the numbers in Espanol. So make sure you're jotting these down and practice. We're going to do 15 this week, and we're going to be adding on next week and the week after that. So make sure you practice these 15, get them memorized as soon as you can, and remember, you can use YouTube videos, you can use online games, anything that will help you out. There's so many resources out there. Again, like I mentioned last week, I can't post them for copyright reasons, but definitely Google, YouTube, use as many resources as you can to memorize them. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So a few notes, make sure you're saying every single letter here, every single one. So even here you say siete. Always the E at the end. Siete, siete. Same thing here. Seis, 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 siete. Here, nueve, 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 right? So always, saying all of the letters. Here, make sure the QU, just like we mentioned last week, the QU makes a K sound, so don't say quince. Oh, no, no, no. Quince. You're pretending it's a K. Don't say that U. Quince. Quince. Here, make sure the first C is soft, the second one is hard. So, cinco. Cinco. One more time from the top. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, so that's step number 1. Number 2, in Espanol, we don't say how many or how old we are. We say how many years we have. So we're using the verb to have, which is tener, which is this word right here. And literally, how many years do you have? ¿Cuántos años tienes? And guys, make sure you're saying años with a ñ sound in there with a squiggle on the end. If you don't, you'll say anos, and that's actually something very inappropriate. That actually means anuses. Yes, that's right. So you're going to be telling me how many anuses you have. No, 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 no. And as much as I like to chuckle when my students do say that, you want to make sure you don't say that. It's cuántos años tienes. How many years do you have? And all you have to say is tengo, I have, the number, and then años. So if you're 8 years old, for example, you say tengo 8 años. I have 8 years old. So if they ask you cuántos años tienes, how old are you? And you're 8, tengo 8 años. If you're 5, tengo 5 años. If you're 12, tengo 12 años. If you're 15, tengo 15 años, right? It literally means I have that many years, or in English, I am that many years old. All right, guys, so that's it this week. Antes de continuar el siguiente video, asegúrate de terminar. So before going on to the next video, make sure you finish 2 things, your written assignment and your verbal assignment. For your written assignment, you need to find any 15 words in English, any 15 you want. And guys, really use words that you're curious about, that you're really interested in. So if you're really into art, find 15 words that have to do with art. If you're really into sports, focus on that. If you just love languages and you're just really curious about 15 words and how to say them in Espanol because you use them all the time in English, then go ahead, pick those 15. This is really a chance for you to dive in, explore vocabulary in Espanol, get creative, just have some fun with it. Once you have your 15 words, what you need to do is translate them to Espanol and try to use them in a sentence or a phrase. So that should say sentence or phrase, not a phrase. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten, this is a beginner course. Definitely you will be I will be looking at whether you're taking risks, being creative, making sure that you have 15 different words and not just trying to use the same words over and over again. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for perfection because we're not there yet. It's a beginner level, of course. So un ejemplo would be if you have your English word right there, which is house, okay? Very common word. Your Spanish translation, traducción en español, casa. And your phrase or your sentence, tu frase, mi casa, so my house. So that's probably something that you've heard a lot. Mi casa es su casa, my house is your house, or my home is your home. So you can draw things from movies that you've seen or shows that you've seen, or not, books that you read maybe. Again, it's totally up to you. It's wide open. All I'm looking for is for 15 words. And for each word, there's the English word, the Spanish translation, and a sentence. And of course, you hand that in on Google Classroom. Your second one, you're going to see an outline on Google Classroom for this. It will just be for you to draft up. So on the worksheet, you'll see 2 different conversations. You need to fill in the blanks. You can add as much to it as you want. Once you're done, you submit it on Google Classroom. Then you sign into Blackboard for our weekly class. Once you're there, I'll pull it up. Make sure that you've practiced your sentences out loud. So we're going to go through it like as if it was a little skit. So I'll say the teacher lines, you say the student lines, but make sure you practice before you come in to present. This is 100% a verbal mark, not a written mark. So I'll be listening for your sounds of Spanish. Are you saying your vowels correctly? Are you saying all the sounds correctly? Is it fluent? Or are you stopping at every word to think about what you have to say? Or is it obvious that you practice beforehand? Your accent, your pronunciation, all that fun stuff. 100% verbal assignment. All right, guys, that's it for me. I look forward to seeing you in class this week. Gracias. Adios.